Welcome to JTK TV in Endless Thoughts. இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமில் எல்லாருடைய நினைவுகளும், அதாவது நினைவுகள் பொக்கிஷமானது. மனிதனுடைய நினைவுகள் தான் மனிதனுக்கு இருக்கும் எல்லா காரியங்களை விட உயர்ந்தது, பொக்கிஷமானது. அதனால் நிறைய படித்தவங்க, நிறைய தெரிஞ்சவங்க, நிறைய அனுபவம் வாய்ந்தவங்க கிட்ட நான் நிறைய கேள்விகள் கேட்டு நான் நிறைய காரியங்களை தெரிஞ்சிட்ருக்கேன். உங்களுக்கும் இதோட நிகழ்ச்சி ரொம்ப பிரயோஜனமாக இருக்கும்னு நான் நம்புகிறேன். அனுபவம் வாய்ந்தவர்கள், அவர்களுடைய நினைவு அது எவ்வளோ பொக்கிஷம் இல்லையா? அதே போல் இன்றைக்கு என்னுடைய கெஸ்ட்டாக இன்றைக்கு நம்மளுடைய எண்ட்லெஸ் கியூவில் வந்திருக்காங்க ப்ரொஃபஸர் க்ளோரி பால் தன்ராஜ். வணக்கம் மேம். Thank you so much for being my guest today.
It is wonderful to be here.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good.
We are so happy to have you in India after a very long time. அதாவது நீங்கள் நம்மளுடைய திருநெல்வேலி சரட்டக்கரில் நீங்கள் இங்கிலீஷ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் ப்ரொஃபஸராக இருந்து ரிட்டையர் ஆனதுக்கப்புறமாகவும் உங்களுடைய சேவையை தொடர்ந்து நீங்கள் நிறைய கண்ட்ரீஸில் நீங்கள் செய்து கொண்டிருக்கீங்க. யூ பீயிங் அ ப்ரொஃபஸர் அண்ட் வாட் யூ ஆர் கிவிங் டு த சொசைட்டி is very valuable. So indraikku I think as women I would like to talk about the problems related to women. I have a lot of questions. Are you ready to answer all my questions?
Yes, I think I will do.
Women are considered weak. First of all, please answer my question. Women உண்மையாவே வீக்கா தான் இருக்கோமா? Are we really weak?
It's a very good question because you are targeting a major narrative, a myth about women. It's not about individual women. It is about womanhood itself. What culture has taught us, what religion has taught us, that is very serious. At the same time, you mentioned the power of memory, the power of liberative memory,
Yes.
the power of emancipatory memory. So I think in our literature, in our ancient Indian literature and in religious texts also, there are clues about women's powerful position,
Yes.
what women have accomplished. Instead of accessing that kind of important liberative knowledge, we tend to fall back on a narrative, a very powerful myth that has been built over the centuries and often sanctioned by culture and religion. So I think your question probes deep into systemic thinking,
Yes.
if you will, because if you really address this issue, you have to address the system that has produced.
Yes.
The knowledge, a body of knowledge that has projected women as a weak sex.
Yes, because even in law, we are giving a lot of measures and safety for women, considering them to be very weak. The society, our families always consider women to be weak. Even in our own homes, mothers consider the daughter to be weak, and men in the families also consider them to be weak. Is it all right?
I'm not here all the way from the US to say how mothers are raising their children in India. But let me pick up your very insightful question again, because you are focusing on the internalized oppression of women themselves.
Yes. So we consider ourselves to be weak. That is point number one.
Yes, we have internalized
Yes.
that. That is an oppression we have to address
Yes.
very deep inside. And that may be the hardest thing.
Yes. For us, ourselves to come out of the dilemma.
Yes.
So women who think that they are weak, for example, I consider myself physically weaker than the men in my home, and I always give the jobs that tend to go outside into the world to the men of the family, considering myself to be a woman, and I am pampered in my home. They also consider me to be very weak, and they pamper me because I am weak. So how do I come out of this dilemma and thought and belief that I am weak?
First of all, I don't want to create problem at your home.
No, it will not create a problem. So you can go ahead.
And many of us have been raised that way. Many of us have been raised that way, that the personal, private sphere is women's and the public sphere
Yes.
is men's.
Yes.
So that kind of division imposed by culture itself, and attacking that division is not easier, but women have found a way to negotiate themselves.
Yes.
And they are able to negotiate themselves to open up ways to move from this private sphere into
To
the public sphere.
Yes.
And just look at the lawyers Sarah Tucker College has produced,
Yes.
engineers Sarah
Yes.
Tucker College has produced, the judges Sarah Tucker College has produced.
Yes.
So it is all based on a vision of a woman of disability years ago, that women could rise above their situation.
Yes.
So it is here and there, like an oasis in the 19th century itself, women started to empower themselves. Sometimes women would behave as weaker sex in order to survive.
Yes.
I don't have anything to speak against it. If a woman could survive, well, let it be so. But if a woman wants to thrive in this society, to experience full personhood
Yes.
and move ahead in society, there should be a community of people to support her.
Yes. Yes.
Individually, a woman may find it hard, even though many women have accomplished so much individually. But it will be so good if a community of us could be together, collaboratively helping each other. Because
Yes.
women can be women's worst enemies.
Yes, definitely. And I would like to ask you if there's one thing that you would like to change in the attitude of women or in the attitude of the society relating to women, what would be that one point?
It is a very deeply incisive question, but let me face it. Religion could oppress women. I am a Christian. I have been a Christian for 6 generations. We have read the Bible, and the Bible could be used against a woman, that she should be subordinate.
Yes.
At the same time, religious texts could contain some deep ambiguity. It is the burden of the women themselves to look at those scriptural passages which are empowering them,
Yes. Yes.
and how the original translation sounds. That is very difficult, but female theologians have done that, and that has been done in the context of interfaith also.
Yes. Yes.
So if all of us could work together, Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, get inspiration from texts, not those texts which subordinate us. That is very important.
Yes.
Each one regaining strength with the help of the depth of the scriptural passages. That, I think, is one of the hardest things.
Yes, my last question is a personal question. I don't know if you would like to answer this question, but I see a powerful woman in you. I see a very talented, skillful, courageous woman in you. What could be the reason for your courage, for your skill, and for your love towards the society and towards women.
Let me thank you for the compliment first of all. This is a big compliment, and I'm very appreciative of this. In the shadow of Sarah Tucker College, to say this. Personally, my mother was a student of Sarah Tucker High School and training school. She raised me and my brother as a single mother, took me to Sarah Tucker herself, admitted me to the college. Miss Dora David, the principal at that time, asked me after a couple of days, "You are the girl whose mother accompanied you to register for the first course." I wanted to hide myself.
Okay.
Something in me sank, but at the same time, I was grateful that Principal David recognized the worth of women and the worth of a woman who was unaccompanied by a father figure. That is very challenging for me. I'm very grateful to the institutions which have stood by the women. Always the women professors, women principals sought out girls who would be shy, who could not be reached out, but very deliberately they took that task. I am one of the beneficiaries of this. I am grateful for this. And always the former principal would seek me out and say, "Don't run away from problem, face it, take up the challenge, face it. You may fail, rise up and run." And I would like to thank my husband DHARMARAJ also, and he stands for women's liberation. So I'm very grateful for men who stand side by side with their women, encouraging them. It's okay. But it is a long distance running. Running alone does not help. You have to run together.
Yes.
Sometimes when I look at Sarah Tucker's motto, "So run that you may obtain the incorruptible crown," I would like to think women are running together. Young women are running together. Full-bodied women and women of disability running together on the same track or multiple tracks, running towards that goal, which is empowerment of women. Empowerment of women by God, who is the mother and father of us all.
Yes. So, ma'am, you were such an inspiration. Speaking to you for a few moments have opened our eyes, I think. So, after listening to you, I think we should never call ourselves weak again. Not weak physically, not weak mentally, not weak in any way. So, it has been an eye-opener, and I hope and believe that this discussion, this program and your words would be an inspiration to all the women and men who are watching us. Thank you so much for being my guest today, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.